Alright, so this is our mask making project, and we're going to want to start out by making the base form of the mask. And your first decision is if you want a long mask or a shorter mask. So think about the face or shape of your mask, and if it's longer, you want to go with this big piece of oak tag or tag board. If it's a shorter mask, you'll want to grab one of these manila folders that I pre-cut. And if you want something that's in between, go ahead and grab a big piece of oak tag. And then once you have the piece of oak tag, the tag board, you're going to want to fold it in half lengthwise, which I already folded mine. So the long ways or hot dog style. And then once you do that, you'll open it up like an open book. And then everybody would follow along at this point. You're going to want to measure 3 fingers down from the top and 3 fingers up from the bottom and make a little mark, just like how I did here. If you want a mask that's in between the short or long mask, you would want to mark 4 fingers down. So I'm using a marker, you can use a pencil, whatever. Mark 4 fingers down from the top on your long piece of oak tag, or 3 fingers from the top, just a little mark on each side, top and bottom. So it should look like this. Here's the shorter mask. The next step you want to do is, so we still have this, the inside of the mask is facing us like an open book. We're going to want to fold, focus, we're going to want to fold at those marks you just made, fold towards you on the top and the bottom. And there we go. So now you want to open it completely after you made that crease, and you're going to want to fold it in half again. It's like a closed book now. The next step is, again, we're using our fingers as measuring tools. Mark 3 fingers in. You want to mark right on that crease that you just made. 3 fingers in from the open edge. Make a little mark there. 3 fingers in from the open edge on the bottom crease as well. Now, this next step is gonna maybe be different for everybody. You're going to want to decide the shape that you want on the side of your mask. So this is the edge of your mask. You want to just mark it in this zone here. So you might want like a peanut shaped face like this, outside edge, curvy. You might want the top of the mask to be as wide as possible and the bottom of the mask to be as narrow as possible. You're still not going to mark in this zone near the folded edge. We're just marking on the outside. So you could just have a straight line in this zone ending at that mark down there. Or maybe you want just a curved round face on your mask like that. So decide the shape of that outside of your mask. Go ahead and mark it, and Miss Lewis is going to come around, give you the okay by taking her marker and we're going to go with this round shape for my mask. She's going to mark it for you, put an X on the parts you're going to throw away, and then after she marks that, you can grab some scissors and cut along that line. Okay. I should mention, in the rare case that you want a mask to be really square or angular, like maybe it's a cultural inspired mask and it's going to look like a tiki or something like that, then you can just leave your mask as it was without making a mark or cutting anything. That is an option. All right. Here's my mask so far. The next step is from these creased parts here, you want to kind of measure about a third of the way from the top. So you're going to have the top at the top, and you can kind of eyeball. See, 1, 2, 3. If it's a little big, then kind of, that's pretty good. I'm going to make a little mark, and actually I'm going to make a line all the way across. So that is about a third of the way down from this crease in this zone here. Next, what you want to do is on this folded edge, you're going to want to measure a finger and kind of press your finger so it's at its widest. You want to measure that right there, make a little mark. And now here's another decision. We need to decide if we want eye holes in our mask. It's totally up to you. You don't have to put eye holes in. You could put eye holes in now and then patch them up later if you decide you don't want them. If you do want an eye hole in your mask, we did this measurement because the distance between our eyes are about 2 fingers width. So when you open the mask, it's going to be that wide apart. The actual eyes on your mask could be wider than these narrow eyes. You just need to be able to see out of it if you cut your eye holes here. So these can be like hidden eye holes, and then you can have bigger eyes on your mask if you want. If you do want a eye hole in your mask, you can draw it out just a kind of almond shape or football shape. I had to make mine a little bigger. Okay, the next step, everybody will do this. So you get your scissors and you cut without going beyond this finger mark that you made here. You cut all the way to that mark. And then if you decided you wanted eye holes, you will carefully cut those out. But no matter what you do not cut all the way through. Don't cut your mask in half, okay? there's our eye hole. Okay, now you can open up your mask all the way. Just a few more cuts to make. You're going to want to cut from the bottom along the seam, but just to this folded part. So just doing a little snip right here. Make sure you meet that folded edge. And then you want to cut that in half. And then you want to cut that in half again. Flip your mask over, do the same thing on the top edge. Basically cut it in half, then in half again, then in half again. And there we go. There's our mask base form. The next step is to tape.